I like that.
How
dude.
was it? How was it when you had your concert last year, and then obviously all the media and stuff grabbed your shit? And
It was interesting because I still don't fully understand it. I still think people are fucking crazy.
Sure.
To be honest with you, I'm like,
Which I think you would be right.
what the fuck is wrong with people?
Yeah.
Nobody asked why I did it. Nobody asked what I was doing. People are throwing around numbers of 4,000 people that I did a show. People are throwing around, I made this much money off it. I didn't make a dime.
Mhm.
I was able to continue to pay my band though, and that's why I was doing it. I didn't make any money. But I wake up Sunday. I'm taking a nap because I'm toast from the night before. We had a blast at the show. It was awesome. And then I wake up and there's all these texts, like 100 texts on my phone. Like,
Sure.
what the fuck is going on? And the first one I happened to read was from Jake Owen. I'm scrolling through. I read Jake's, and he's like, "Fuck you, man. You're the reason we can't do shows. I hate you. Yada yada. Dot dot dot. Haha. Just kidding, buddy. You'll be all right." And I'm like,
come in hot, haha,
is a
JK.
tough- that's a
"What are
tough
you talking
thing
about?"
to read if you
Jake?
don't remember.
I
So
didn't
do you remember the next day?
Oh yeah, that's when I started reading more texts. I'm like, holy shit, am I in trouble for this?
Mm-hmm.
And so my publicist hits me up. She's like, okay, we're not going to say anything. It's all good. It'll go away. It didn't go away. Like 2 days later, people are hating me.
He's like, hey, it's still happening.
Like, Evie, this isn't gone.
So give me some backstory. What time was this that you did this?
Early. It was early on. It was too early.
It was right. It was kind of right after our Zoom, I think. Right? It was a little bit after the Zoom.
When did we
forget when
Zoom? Like
did
we
it.
zoomed in like
It's such a blur.
April,
like
May?
March,
Like
April.
I'll openly say, looking back, no, we shouldn't have done a show.
sure.
But it was way before anything was concrete. Nobody knew what was happening, so we just went and did the show. Completely went by all the rules.
Where
we
was
were
the
given.
show?
It was Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary in right near Knoxville.
Very very Johnny Cash of you.
It was
That's awesome.
And that was the article. Watch Chase Rice go from prison to hell. Whoever wrote that, you're just a shitty reporter. Like,
Yeah.
I don't disrespect you. I don't respect you. Like, I just think you're shitty at your job.
Go from prison to hell. He was saying that because you played this thing, you're gonna go to hell because of it.
I guess. Because I'm going to kill people.
Let me
or
just say
whatever.
something real quick. That title's fucking badass. Like whoever wrote that, watch Chase
But
Rice
their
go from
facts
prison
were
to hell.
so off.
If it's like some headline and
It
you
don't
got
matter about the
you got-
facts. I'm just saying the title of it sounds.
Actually,
I would
facts
click
don't
that.
matter at all because people don't read. Like, I even realized from other people doing stuff last year, because last year I think brought out a lot of shit, a lot of shit, and a lot of people.
right, no question.
But I read other articles and I'm like, this piece of shit. How could they do that? And then I read the article. I'm like, oh, well, no. The headline just made me hate them.
Yeah.
But this one was like, there was 900 people, and then the article's saying there's 4,000, yada yada. It's like, well, that's just not true. Anyway, we did it too early.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem that I'm having with even still the other people are doing these days, it's like, y'all, hear somebody out every now and then,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
stop reading headlines. Headlines are
Yeah,
headlines are just flat out ignorant and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're trying to get everybody's attention,
That's,
like
the,
clickbait.
that's what they made him change it to. Chase Rice's concert at Penitentiary ignites debate over safety or live shows. Anybody at that show, not one person at that show, that's another thing about it, would say that they felt like they were in harm. They had
Yeah,
plenty
especially
of
if they
space.
went
The
to
place
it.
seated 10,000 people and there was 900. So anybody complaining about it, the other artists, stuff like that, it's like, y'all.
What other artists complained about it?
Well, there you go right there.
I can't read that.
There's one.
Kelsey Ballerini.
Yeah. The
Now,
problem I have with it,
why is she upset?
I don't fucking know.
I mean,
June 28th.
I've actually
it's
never
not
read
like
this.
it's
Imagine
like
being selfish enough to put thousands of people health at risk, not to mention the potential ripple effect, and play a normal country concert right now, and it disappeared. Okay.
yeah. See, somebody
Look at
grabs
you guys
people's
right now.
tweets.
Oh, she tagged
and
you
they
though.
put it in their articles.
We all want and need a tour. We just care about our fans and their families enough to wait. I can understand where she's coming. I can understand what Kelsey's trying to say there. I
know
get
what
it,
I have a problem
especially at the time that was going on. I understand it. I think a lot of it, from what
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
noticed, what I've noticed
We were
about country
too
music
early.
is like you kind of have to play a fine line. I don't know. Obviously, we know what her view is, but I think when it comes to like how she resonates with her fans, I'm sure whatever her platform is, that I don't know a lot about her. I'm sure she's trying to, keep a large fan base with that. Who knows? What's that? She's scoring. She's
the
scoring
problem I
points
have
in a lot
with
of
it
ways.
is you have my phone number. If you got
Yeah.
a real problem with it, hit me up. We'll talk about it.
No
We'll have a normal
question, and I
conversation.
fully
Right.
understand
And
that.
people are taking so much shit to social media that it's creating a divide that doesn't need to be there.
Right.
It needs to create conversation, not a divide, and that's not what's happening.
It's
Right,
interesting you say that because I'll see like friends of mine, like good things happen. Guy signs a contract or, country guy does an album, number one. and I want to tweet about it, but I'm like, well, if I have the person's number, I'll just text them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's probably just better to do that. If you really want to congratulate somebody, you should send a text out if you have the opportunity.
Right,
to
like
do
if
that.
you make the Pro Bowl, like, I mean, obviously I'd tell you congratulations in person, but of course, right when I see it, I'm gonna say, "Oh, the boy made the Pro Bowl."
Yeah, something like that.
Obviously, you'll probably see me photoshopped in some Pro Bowl that you made.
Have you been? Yeah.
But like too, like I think another part where you're coming from as well is like you're sitting here like, yeah, we did it too early, and then also no one's giving you a chance to hear like, hey, listen, okay, like I might have messed up, but I like you're already deciding that I'm standing on one side of the line when there's not even a line that. It's being created. It's being created on social media.
Yeah.
And to speak to that even more, that's an awesome point. But I am anybody that apologizes because they're supposed to apologize. Fuck you. That's a fake apology.
Yeah, I can get
bullshit.
that.
I will apologize if I look at something. And first of all, give me a second. I'm not going to apologize in your timeline.
Right. Out of some
because you
reactive
need a story
thing.
to tell. I'm going to apologize when I've had a chance to sit back and think about something that's happened, or I'm going to decide not to apologize. Depends on whatever the situation is. But stop apologizing because people are telling you to apologize. That's fucking fake, and nobody wants to hear
It's not really. You're trying to cross a T, dot an I, so that people will forget about something.
Man.
Right.
Well, he said sorry. Well, she said sorry. That type of thing.
And we're starting to live in this like social media world of like you have to say something immediately. Like if you're not saying something, like your silence is. We hear you from your silence. Like you haven't said nothing yet. It's like
Give me a chance to actually think about what just happened.
Right.
Have you talked to Kelsey since June 28th, whenever that came out?
No.
Have you reached out to her? Has she reached out to you?
No. Honestly, I don't have a problem with anything. Like, no matter who the artists are, if you come up to me and we have a conversation about it, I bet it's going to be pretty chill and easy. I don't have a problem with anybody. What I do have a problem with is not having conversations about things that need to, like I said, it needs to be more conversation and less divide of just, you did this, fuck you, you're wrong.
Some 140 characters just putting on Twitter
that is so useless in our world, and unfortunately, it's what people do.
A lot of times, like I would go crazy with that if someone I knew tweeted that about me. I'd be like, I always try to get a hold of that person immediately. I'd be like, hey, what's the deal? Not try to like fight them or get an argument. Like I want to know where you're coming from, especially if this person has your number. If Kelsey has your number, like you guys probably have a relatively decent relationship leading up to that point. And if there hasn't been a conversation up till then, that seems kind of weird. I feel like the next time you see her, it's going to be, that would for me be hard.
I ain't got a whole lot to say to you.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Well, it sounds like she went off pretty hard on you.
Well, I'm just saying you gotta realize too, like if you do something you're not like fully like you haven't digested or realized what's actually happening, like you're sitting back and you read something, prison going to hell, and then people tweeting and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? And then
that's exactly
people are just piling on, and you kind of like you're just kind of in a corner with your hands up, like ready to just be like, you know, you're in that like self-preservation because people are just backing you kind of into a corner to speak up. You're forced to do something, or oh, he stands here and he's this and that, and that now it's political, and really like you just have no time to digest what you're wanting to do. Yeah, but I assume that fucking sucked, because even though we're like, yo, it's a badass like headline, because you think.
It's a headline.
If you see
20 years from now, people are like, oh,
if you see like Johnny Cash, watch Johnny
deal.
Cash go from prison to hell, I'm sure that's hanging up in somebody's wall because it's like, oh, that's a badass thing.
Johnny
but
Cash.
At the time when you're just seeing that, and you're like, hey, what the fuck? Then your phone's going off, and then this happened, and then you're reading about people who have your number and they're tweeting, they're already deciding.
I'm
you're
sure
just like,
I mean, obviously it's not. It's tough to handle when it's going on.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I feel like enough time has passed.
A whole lot at all. I was like, first of all, I wasn't gonna apologize because I didn't feel like I had anything to apologize for. I didn't force anybody to come to that show. They chose to come to that show. There's still a lot of people. There were 7,500 people in Jacksonville, Florida last Thursday that chose to come to a show. Yeah. And just because now it's more acceptable, like, is it really? We don't know shit about this vaccine.
Yeah. Well, based on some of the data and stuff with the NFLPA, is like some of the numbers and percentages are still the same as they were in last July.
But now it's more acceptable. I don't know why. I don't fucking care either. What I do know is if states are going to allow us to play, I'm going to play. Yeah. And I want to give my guys money. Yeah. I want to give them a fucking job.
No question.
Speak to that too. Like especially in the artist world, like, you know, I'm talking with a couple different managers, and they had to get furloughed because they're not able. They were like somebody's tour manager, and now they got to get furloughed because there's just no work. Like when you said you didn't make a dime because you're trying to get money on the table for your band and whoever your team is. Like, speak on how hard that's been on like your group.
It's brutal. I mean, there was a long period of time, probably 6 to 7 months is how long I kept everybody on full payroll. And that is a ton of money. I don't care what you have. If you're losing that much money every week without bringing any in, you're going to be in trouble at some point.
Yeah.
So it was awful. I mean, you see your account going
and
down
all the
that
stuff
fast.
you worked
It's
for.
A scary ass place to be. But at the same time, that's happening. You're also knowing that these people, that if you don't have that happen, that these people that you've been with for 8 years, that you've built relationships with, you got to know their families are not going to have a job. And that sucks. Like, I don't want that for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I held on so long for my band and crew of like paying them. That's why I'm doing shows now to continue to get these guys jobs, continue to slowly work our way back into a normal life.
It's interesting that this is the first time I'm hearing about that you've chose to pay your band for 6 to 7 months, and I'm sure some people didn't. Like, how is that not an article? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, but it.
You know, and not that it necessarily like needs to be an article, but there is like stuff that you're just unaware.
Well,
like
that's the thing,
people just aren't aware of it because it's not the hottest thing. Oh, this is going to be, this is going to be a great hot take.
Right.
Yeah.
But, well, yeah, and especially with you can't write an article like you're going to hell. The headline can't be going to hell with that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
helping out the band.
For whatever reason, people just want to hate people these days, and it's the most confusing thing ever.
People are becoming more and more reactive, and I think people, the more social media comes out, and the more there's so many new ways to engage with people, and there's so many new ways to make money. I think people want that, dream of that, and then don't really know how to go about it. And then they see people with success doing ththings, and they want to be reactive and get a response. And they have Chase Rice, they have a celebrity talk to them back. Because I can tell you, you're a piece of shit, and you say "fuck off." Like, oh, I did something now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a need to, like, that makes them feel relevant in the situation. Yeah. But I think Jelly Roll, he was on here 2 days ago, brought it up perfectly. It was like, your emoji is a Pokemon.
Your
like,
profile pic.
Yeah, your profile. Your profile
he did
emoji.
say Pokemon. That's so funny.
Like, you don't, like, you're just a fucking troll.
Yeah.
And that's what most of these people are. I'm super intrigued by the Kelsey Ballerina thing, because I'm just like, do you think did she read the article? I don't, that thing to me, it just I wonder where her head's at now, after a year. You know what I'm saying?
People will ask me like, what do you think of her? What do you think of Maren Morris also spoke out on it? I'm like, I don't really have a thought. I haven't talked to them, so I'm not going to sit there and speak into that. Do I hate their music now? No, I think their music's sick.
Yeah.
I especially think Maren's unbelievable. But my biggest thing from all of it would be, y'all just be open to more conversations as opposed to just fucking thrashing people on social media. Yeah. That gets us nowhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely nowhere.
And the thing about the time it was, June, like, we didn't know if we were going to have football then. We didn't know what the hell was going on. The world was like, and that's like probably the peak of everything. And I think, like you just said, numbers are the same as they were in July. Right now, according to the NFLPA's argument versus OTAs right now, that's the whole thing going on with us. And it's like, I think the only thing that's changed is people have become more impatient. Yeah. Like, they thought, okay, this would be a 6-month thing. All right, it's a year. Hey, 2020 sucked. 2021 is going to be way better. And you sit there and we're getting towards that halfway point of 2021. We're going, not a whole lot's fucking changed,
Yeah.
And I think even people, whatever side of the fence you're on, I think people are getting impatient.
Yeah.
And they're thinking,
I've always thought, well, not always. I remember thinking last year, like, wait a minute, we're not going to tour till June? Fuck that. We're going to be out way before that.
Yeah.
Then do the one show, and it's like, okay, never mind. We're not going to be out. And then you're done the whole year.
For sure not.
But then this year, my mindset was the opposite. It's like, we're going to have shows here and there. It's going to get going. Fall might be rocking a little bit, but 2022, get your ass ready. Because I do believe by 2022, I'm not putting up with it no more.
Yeah.
I'm not living my life that
famous
way.
last words, man.
I'm going.
Famous last words.
2022.
He's a novice.